The year 2024 in Nigeria was characterized by significant political activities nationwide, which sparked reactions from citizens nationwide. In his first year as Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu championed victories for his ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) at both state and local government levels, having assumed office on 29th of May 2023. The president also found himself at the center of various political conflicts, prompting his intervention. In this next report, our correspondent Ms. Oladigun provides a detailed assessment of political events that defined 2024.
Just like previous years in Nigeria, the year 2024 was not devoid of the usual political rendezvous. As the year began, the rift between Governor of Rivers State Siminalayi Fubara and his predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike continued, with no end in sight. Not even the peace deal signed by both parties at a meeting convened by President Tinubu at the Presidential Villa Abuja could solve the crisis. Despite the odds and several challenges threatening his governance, Fubara successfully conducted local government elections in the state, where chairmanship candidate of the Action People's Party won in 22 local councils, while the Action Alliance won in 1. However, the power struggle seems far from over.
It's a PDP internal affair. It's not something that everybody should jump into the foray. They know how they started, they know what they agreed, and so they also know how to end this matter. But again, pride has set in. People have become arrogant. People have forgotten where they came from. They forgotten how they started. And then you have allowed enemies, people, crisis entrepreneurs, people who want to be cash out. Let me use it, cash out, who are now beginning to give advice. Now, the solution I've always maintained is a political thing. And I think that's what President Tinubu tried to do, which along the line, the governor accepted with his whole chest. But along the line, some persons began to say, no, you don't need to do this. It's not constitutional. You need to. Now, the constitution has come in place. What's the constitution? The laws. And the laws are speaking and people are not obeying. I've always said, it's not about the noise. It's not about the applause of the people. It's not about, I have the organic support. It's about what the constitution of the country says.
A similar situation ensued between the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, and his deputy, Philip Shaibu. Their relationship turned sour when Shaibu expressed his intention to succeed Obaseki as governor. That political ambition led to a rift, culminating in Shaibu's impeachment, which he successfully challenged in court. After several unsuccessful attempts to mend fences with Obaseki, Shaibu eventually left the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and returned to his former party, the ruling APC.
Philip Shaibu and Obaseki, as Ikubend had crisis from the APC, they moved into a PDP, and promises were made. But at the end of the day, now there is a new food to share, and you saw the crisis that it has created with everybody going their separate ways. And those people that Philip Shaibu had called names before, I saw how shameless it was. When Philip Shaibu went to Nidam before Shomole, for me, it was a outrageous display of irresponsibility, really. After all he said, in the last election. But that's politics in Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly.
There are no ideology, there are no permanent friend. All you have is permanent interest. So I will not be surprised if tomorrow you still see Philip Shaibu and Obaseki come together and knock heads or rub heads together, and then one calling the other one my older brother and my younger brother and the rest.
Nigeria's judiciary had its work cut out for it in 2024. Among many landmark judgments delivered by the Supreme Court in 2024 was affirming the financial autonomy of Nigeria's 774 local government councils on July 11, 2024. A 7-member panel led by Justice Mohammed Garba unanimously upheld a suit brought by the federal government aimed at reinforcing the independence of local government across the country. The court also rejected the stance of state government that sought to dissolve democratically elected local government councils.
It is time for local government to achieve its full-fledged autonomy, and upon his belief, he has demonstrated it by first engaging with the judicial arm of government through his Attorney General to have moved us far. And beyond that, local government also have the ability to generate their own funds. So going forward, it is not just for local government helmsmen to wait for allocation from the federal and the state. They must demonstrate capacity to generate more funds from their own constituency, as the case is. Because looking at the enormity of work on ground, I don't think the federal or state allocation will be enough.
Politics played a huge role in the Kano state emirship tussle between Aminu Ado Bayero and 4 other emirs appointed by former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje against Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who was reinstated as the 16th emir by current Governor Abba Yusuf.
Traditional institution has to be insulated from the politicians. You can imagine, people will tell you now that Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje brought in Aminu Ado Bayero at that period as the emir. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf removed him and put Muhammad Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. So what next? Does it now mean that if by providence or by accident another political party comes in 2027, does that mean that they're going to remove Muhammad Sanusi II?
2024 was also the year for off-cycle elections in Edo and Ondo states. The leadership transition was characterized by clashes between political parties seeking to assert control. In the end, the ruling APC proved its mettle by sweeping votes in both states and at the local government level, further weakening the strength of opposition parties.
It's clear that once you are in the driver's seat, you shore up all your defenses in a way from losing it, but enables you to add more to your arsenal. Because, of course, more states that are under the control of the dominant political party, the stronger that party is, and the easier it is for it to capture a lot of other jurisdictions. The fear, of course, is that such a situation lends itself to us becoming a one-party state, or very close to being a one-party state, which is scary. As of today, the 2 opposition parties, the PDP and the Labour Party, they are in disarray. The two, there's the NNPP and a couple of others, but the 2 dominant parties that featured well in the 2023 elections are the PDP and the LP, and neither of them is able to mount any credible role as opposition, which the role of the opposition should be to take the incumbent party to task and examine its policies, criticize the ones that are not good for the country, and offer alternative solutions. But that's difficult to do when you've been completely subjugated. The APC has become a juggernaut now, and so it has more or less silenced any opposition.
Going forward, the newly elected government at both the state and local government levels are now faced with a significant challenge to implement pro-people policies in efforts to align with the current administration's renewed hope agenda in 2025. Meanwhile, political experts warn that except current infighting and internal divisions within opposition parties are intentionally addressed, their unity and effectiveness remains threatened. Simisola Adigun, TV 360 News.